Tonight, residents in an area of Paradise are ordered to evacuate. A new fire erupts in Spaniards Bay, and some evacuees in Conception Bay North mark a week since being forced to abandon their homes.
At the areas of Ochre Pit Cove and Western Bay, and we anticipate, based on what we can see at this moment, that there is significant loss in both of these communities.
They say Western Bay is like a war zone. It took whatever it did in its path.
Well, we're pretty anxious. I mean, our stomach's been in a knot for a week now, waiting for this to be over. My mom's so anxious to go home.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. We'll have lots of wildfire coverage for you tonight. Julia Israel and Mark Quinn will join us live to report on the wildfires in Conception Bay North and Paddy's Pond. But first, let's take a look at the latest on the evacuation. Residents in the Three Island Pond area of Paradise have been ordered to evacuate. Evacuees need to register with the Red Cross at Admiral's Academy in Kelligrews. Now, this follows the provincial government issuing a regional state of emergency for parts of St. John's, Paradise, and Conception Bay South as the Paddy's Pond wildfire continues to burn out of control. An evacuation alert is in place for Southlands and Galway in St. John's, as well as parts of Paradise and Conception Bay South. Now, residents in those areas are being told to prepare to evacuate on short notice if the situation gets worse. And we'll have more on all of that a little bit later. And that new fire in Spaniards Bay was first reported this afternoon. Mayor Paul Brazel confirmed it began near the community's Anglican graveyard on Moultrie Hill. Now, he says the Spaniards Bay Fire Department was tackling the fire with two other regional departments, along with a water bomber and helicopter. Now, reporter Julie Israel has been on the ground in Conception Bay North today, and she's joining us live from Spaniards Bay. So, Julia, how are things looking out there now?
Well, Carolyn, when we got here shortly before 4 o'clock, we did see that one water bomber and a helicopter responding to the fire. But now there's no smoke and the fire is reported to be in control. So, Carolyn, there's more to worry about here in Conception Bay North. The Kingston fire is the largest and a fast-growing fire in the province right now. And in the first half of the day, the lack of water bombers in the sky was a concerning sight for a lot of folks looking out into the smoke. I was at the other end of the roadblock at Burnt Point this morning, and you could see the smoke traveling fast, and dark smoke too. I spoke to a resident of Lower Island Cove who took in his mom from Western Bay last week.
We're pretty anxious. I mean, our stomach's been in a knot for a week now, waiting for this to be over. My mom's so anxious to go home. And so we thought we'd come out and take a look, so we know things have gotten worse. We haven't seen any water bombers here this morning at all. And I guess we're all over trying to save St. John's, maybe rightfully so. It's the oldest city in North America. But at the rate that it's moving, I've been watching it for about 15 minutes now, and it's moving pretty quick. And there's a lot of dark smoke pluming up, and we can actually see flames from here.
More communities have been receiving evacuation alerts as the day goes on. So for towns that are won over, who might be next, like is the case with Job's Cove, people know that should things get worse, they might get that news that they have to leave. So things are changing minute by minute. The heat is still beating down. People are out all around day and night looking for, how to react next.
It's very, very sad to have to look at your home and look around. Situation where you were reared and born and raised up and did your thing, and it's very sad to have to look back and see you'll have nothing left. Very sad. But I hope and pray for the best, and that's all you can do, really.
In today's government briefing, we heard that the incident command team is monitoring the fires across the Avalon. So that's the fire in Kingston and the one in the Paddy's Pond region. And while some residents here are hoping for the best, with the situation changing so quickly and the extent of the damage still unknown, many people in the area are fearing the worst. Carolyn?
Thank you, Julia. That's Julia Israel reporting live. And staying in the Conception Bay North area, residents protested today in Carbonear. They feel resources have been unfairly pulled from the Kingston fire. Ground crews were pulled from the fire earlier this week due to safety concerns, but they have since returned to fighting the fire. A resident of Lower Island Cove feels water bombers were too slow to respond today.
And people are feeling that there's not enough resources being utilized to help fight this. Because if we don't get the resources needed, I'm afraid that most people in Conception Bay North, on the Bay d'Iverde Peninsula, will not have homes to go back to. And if you do have a home to go back to, you'll be very lucky.
Now, the provincial government held a briefing today, and during that briefing, Premier John Hogan responded to some of those criticisms. He says resources are being deployed as needed.
I want everybody to know that every region in this province is important, and at no stage are we prioritizing one region over the other. As I said, decisions are guided by the experts, guided by science, safety, and strategy to protect as many people, as many Newfoundlanders and Labradorians and communities as possible. The experts team are always in action, and as I said, the incident command teams are highly trained professionals, and they use advanced tools and data, scientific analysis to make informed decisions about where and how to fight these fires most effectively.
Now, among the fires burning on the Avalon, the fire near Paddy's Pond, which began yesterday, continues to burn out of control, and that's led to an evacuation order for the 3 Island Pond area of Paradise. Reporter Mark Quinn has been following the updates on that fire all day today, and he joins us now live. So, Mark, what have you been hearing out there today?
Yes, Carolyn. Well, we're at a place right on the border of St. John's and Paradise, and there's a roadblock here where people are prevented from going onto the Trans-Canada Highway westbound. We're seeing a lot of people moving through here because, of course, as you say, there has been an evacuation order issued for part of Paradise, and some of these people are trying to get into Paradise, some are trying to get out. And there's a lot of stress here and honking, and we've even seen some people who are clearly upset with this roadblock that prevents them from going onto the Trans-Canada Highway. It's a stressful time, and of course we don't know what's going to happen next. The fire, we're told by officials, has grown to maybe as large as 300 hectares here in the Paddy's Pond area. It's continuing to rage out of control, and we're not sure where it's going to go next. But we did speak with someone who mentioned that yesterday they really had to scramble when that fire started. It's a general manager of Akita Trucking, and he talked about what they did, and here's some of what he said.
We put out a call for help, and the community came to the call. It was an overwhelming response by individuals stopping all over the Trans-Canada there, right in front of the business. People were running across the highway. We weren't asking for anybody to do anything unsafe, but they really did pitch in. From our competitors to other local service providers, we were receiving calls right across the island asking if there was anything that they could do to help us. And I think with the amount of people that did come to join us there, we were able to successfully get everything moved out extremely quickly. We needed to move all of our gear, all of the really important gear that would have taken a very, very long time, very large expense to recover, if we had to replace it. Yeah, reefer equipment, any other types of materials like tires, building supplies, etc.
Was Alex Driscoll, and he has actually a very personal connection to this. Aside from his work life, his home life is being affected by this. He was in an evacuation alert area, and now he's in an evacuation area. So he's been ordered to evacuate his home. So he's one of the people, like many of these people around us, who are dealing with a lot of stress and the possibility of an evacuation, and in some cases like his, an actual evacuation. So it's a very trying time for a lot of people in this area of St. John's and Paradise. Now, when the police spoke today, they did say that they don't know the cause of the fire at Paddy's Pond, but they have been getting reports that there was a woman seen leaving the area where they believe the fire started. And they're looking for that woman because they want to speak with her, because they think she has information that may help them in their investigation of how the fire started. They said it's a woman in a dark SUV, and they're asking people if they saw her leaving, if they have information, to please give it to them. Things are really changing minute to minute. We know the fire is growing. We've seen an evacuation order issued for Paradise. and we're concerned at what's going to happen next. And of course, that was underscored by the Premier today when he said during that briefing that he doesn't know where things will be tonight. Mark Quinn, CBC News, on the border of St. John's and Paradise.
Well, we've been talking about how dry it has been. Now, these are the summer months. We've seen about 50% of the rain that we typically do in June and July. August, absolutely no rain in the St. John's area so far, where we typically see about 100 millimeters. Now, the record for the low amount is about 22.5 millimeters of rain. Now, we do still have a little bit of time to get there, but certainly not looking great. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, 28 degrees in St. John's. Winds out of the west, 44 kilometer per hour sustained winds at the moment. The other thing is the humidity. 35% right now in St. John's. That is not good news, and we aren't going to see any relief from that either as we head through the day tomorrow, along with these mild temperatures. Winds tonight are going to be continually out of the southwest, somewhere between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. That will continue through a good chunk of the day tomorrow. In fact, even turning a little bit southerly as we head into the afternoon hours. And again, rain possibly by the time we get into Thursday. I'll break it all down a little later.
Thanks so much, Ashley. Now let's have a closer look at the wildfire map. As we heard earlier, residents in the Three Island Pond area of Paradise have been ordered to evacuate all properties adjacent to Three Island Pond, including Three Island Pond Road to the intersection of Buckingham Drive, Ellington Close, Angels Road, Hanson Place, Vanellan Place, Dawes Road, Balsamwood Road, Stokes Road, and Shalloway Place. An evacuation alert is in place for Southlands and Galway in St. John's, as well as parts of Paradise and Conception Bay South. Now, residents in those areas are being told to prepare to evacuate on short notice if the situation gets worse. Now, as for the Kingston fire, the province says that's grown again to over 6,300 hectares. The Premier says they expect significant losses in the Ochre Pit area. And in Central, the Martin Lake fire is also still out of control. However, that fire has resulted in the closure of Route 360 today, better known as the Bay d'Espoir Highway. There are also 2 wildfires burning in Labrador. There's also a fire near Spaniards Bay, though not many details are available just yet. Residents of Browns Road have been ordered to evacuate, while nearby roads have been advised to prepare to evacuate. And with all this, one of the province's water bombers has been taken out of commission. The Premier says the plane ran into hydraulics issues.
Unfortunately, our 4th Newfoundland and Labrador water bomber just had some maintenance issues. So they're obviously continuing to work on that and get that back in the air as soon as possible.
Now, John Hogan says crews are currently repairing the water bomber. He says more assets are on the way, including 2 Black Hawk helicopters from Utah, which can operate at night, as well as over 70 Canadian Armed Forces personnel have been deployed to the province. A statement from CAF says their members will be focused on tasks such as removing burning material near control lines and dousing hotspots. The games in St. John's. Jeremy Eaton will be live from a softball pitch with the latest on how the smoke is canceling some of those events. Well, the Canada Games are continuing, but the wildfires are having an effect on the competition. Some events had to be moved, and 2 competitions have been postponed as parts of the metro area have been evacuated or under an evacuation alert. Jeremy Eaton has been covering the games and spoke with the CEO of the host society earlier today. He joins us now live. So, Jeremy, what's being said about this ever-changing fire situation?
I think the way Karen Sheriffs described it to me this morning was it was minute by minute, and that's how quickly this situation was moving. But the first indication that events were going to be moved came last night at about 11:15. An email from the communications person with the 2025 Canada Games Host Society came out saying that they were going to move box lacrosse from Paradise and the soccer games from CBS. They were going to move them into St. John's due to an abundance of caution, I believe that they said, because of the impact of the wildfires. And then this morning they changed again. This morning they made another change, which was to postpone sailing, which was set to happen in Conception Bay South there at the Yacht Club, and also to postpone beach volleyball, where video producer Danny Arsenal and I were yesterday. And in the background, as they were playing, you could see the smoke coming from Paddy's Pond. But like I said, I spoke with Karen Sheriffs earlier today, and here's what she had to say about making this difficult decision. Karen, you had a difficult decision. You and the host society had a difficult decision. Can you talk a little bit about the decision that was made here on Tuesday?
Yes, absolutely. We've been working really closely with the Provincial Emergency Operations Centre, City of St. John's, Town of Paradise, Conception Bay South. Yesterday was certainly a hard day, and we're thinking about everybody who's impacted by these current fires and those responding to it. We have staff and volunteers who are impacted by this, and our utmost priority is the safety of everybody, and including the athletes and coaches and managers. And so we had to make some decisions yesterday to, on the advice we'd been receiving from all those parties, and we had to move some of our sports from the CBS and Paradise area, which we did.
I know that you've been involved with, this is your 10th Canada Games, and you've told me that before. You've been involved in this role for quite a while. How hard was it to finally make that decision?
Well, I mean, there's so much planning and prep that goes in, and the venues, if you've been out there, they're just spectacular, like beach volleyball, electric, lacrosse venue at the Double Ice Rink in Paradise, and soccer and CBS and sailing. I mean, just amazing venues. Venue teams have worked so hard planning and putting this all together. So it was really hard, but we had to just step back for a second and go, okay, so what can we keep going today, and how can we do it? So we were able to successfully move soccer to King George and Fortis Canada Games Complex. We moved lacrosse, I'll say in the dark of the night, to the DF Barns right now. And from last night until this morning, they started their game on time at 11 o'clock this morning at DF Barns, and I could not be prouder of the people who have rallied behind, and Canada Games Council, National Sport Organizations, our staff and volunteers who just made this happen. We put out a call last night to each provincial territorial chef team and said, can you come help us get the equipment out of Paradise? And they were all there within 20 minutes loading up trucks. And again this morning, unloading trucks to make this happen. And just what a sense of community, and that's truly what the games are. We had to postpone sailing today because of the closure of the highway, and postpone beach volleyball. So we're working closely with the national sport organizations on that, and we'll be assessing throughout the day.
So what are the next steps then for your organization?
Well, it's really what information we're receiving from all the groups that we're working closely with, who are closely linked and monitoring the fire situation. We'll continue to assess, like sometimes this hour by hour. Yesterday I felt like it was changing every 5-10 minutes. We were into another situation type of thing, and we were just pivoting accordingly, but certainly taking the directions from those who are closely linked to it. There's still lots of sports taking place today, and get out and cheer on those athletes. They deserve it.
As Karen said, there's still lots of sports left to play, including what's happening right here down at the Caribou Complex. We're at Legion Field. Quebec is playing Team Manitoba in women's softball, and there's some rowdy Quebec. Say goodbye. Anyways, we just want to serve some fans here. Quick hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Maxime.
Weather, which is certainly not helping this wildfire situation. In fact, you have some records to tell us about the heat.
Yeah, it has been just downright hot out there today. Take a look at these temperatures. These are all-time records for the month of August. 36.7 degrees in Badger this afternoon. A number of areas in the mid-30s as well. This is interesting, though. Lassie broke a record yesterday at 31.5 degrees, and then again today, smashing that record at 33.5 degrees. Now, we've also been talking about humidity. Twillingate area, not only did you see your highest temperature recorded for the month of August, you also recorded your highest humidex value ever across the province, anywhere in the province, rather. No one's recorded a temperature this high. 43 was the humidex this afternoon. So lots of heat out there. No surprise that we have those heat warnings still in place. Take a look at the daytime highs. Well, even Grand Falls winds are actually recording a temperature at 37. And then Bonavista 30 degrees, St. John's 30 degrees. Up across Labrador, a little cooler today. Happy Valley Goose Bay only 26 degrees, but still in those heat warnings. And we've got that all for most of the island portion of the province as well. And Labrador continuing to see that heat. You will start to see some relief from that heat as we head into Thursday for Labrador and then across the island. Temperatures definitely on Thursday are going to be a little cooler. So we're talking about the upper 20s. You'll still be in that warning likely, but we'll finally see some of that relief as we head towards Friday and into Saturday for the majority. We'll start to see some more warmer temperatures move up across Labrador. Now, as far as the potential for some rain, we haven't seen any, but as we head through Thursday, there is still the chance that we could see some showers on Thursday, particularly, for the island and then up across Labrador as well. You may see some showers now. It doesn't look like it's much by any means, but still the chance of showers now as we head into Friday, a better chance of showers as a front moves through. And this is where in behind that front, we will see those temperatures dropping. So certainly good news. Now, as we head through the night tonight, we're going to continue to see some shower chances up across portions of Labrador, particularly through central areas of Labrador and then towards the coast as we get towards the early morning hours. Again, along the south coast, just some fog patches tonight, some drizzle as we head towards the early morning hours. Potentially, this will likely just be some fog patches, but that will be the story as we head into the afternoon. Some more shower chances and even the risk of some thunderstorms for Lab West. That will be the story for you. And as that front continues to move through, we'll see those showers right along with it, but it'll likely be later in the afternoon towards the early evening. And then again, that front will continue to move through as we head through the overnight with some shower chances for those of you around the Happy Valley Goose Bay area through the overnight. And then those shower chances, like I said, hopefully across the island by Thursday morning. Temperatures tonight are going to be mild. Daytime highs are going to sit in let me try that again. Overnight lows are going to sit somewhere between 18 to 21 degrees, cooler in onshore flow, but we're looking at those southwesterlies somewhere between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. And then across the Labrador, 9 degrees for Nain, otherwise between 17 and 20 degrees. And then again tomorrow, expect those temperatures in the the humidex values in the mid 30s, but the mercury should read somewhere in the 30s tomorrow with those winds. Again, dry conditions on the Avalon. Southwesterlies will be gusting somewhere between 20 to as much as 40 kilometers per hour. And then we'll see those the winds pick up a little later in the day for the west coast. Back up into the 30s for Labrador, 33 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Same thing towards the coast. And again, your relief will come Thursday. I'll break that down coming up a little later.
Thanks, Ashley. Now back to the intensifying wildfire situation. I spoke with the provincial fire duty officer, Mark Lawler, a short time ago. And we started by talking about the newest fire that erupted this afternoon in Spaniards Bay.
We received a call this afternoon about a fire in Spaniards Bay, a place called Brazos Hill, I believe. We've dispatched 3 helicopters and a crew of firefighters to that.
Now, the Kingston fire is still the biggest fire in the province. It grew overnight again. Can you give us the latest on that fire and the resources being used to fight it?
That fire is now approximately about 6,500 hectares and probably will be mapped at a larger size when we get a chance to. We haven't today because of the smoky conditions. We've had firefighters on the southern flank of that fire. We're still working on the dozer guard on the south. We've established a new guard on the northern section of that fire. Unfortunately, we did have to pull the crews on that fire a little after midday today due to the fire behavior.
Due to the fire behavior, can you explain that a bit more?
Well, it's very active fire there again today. Given the humidity, the wind speed, and the temperatures, we're experiencing, some significant fire behavior, movement of the fire.
Good to get an explanation about, resources being pulled back from a fire in the Kingston area, because I know we've been hearing from residents there. They're concerned that resources are being diverted away from those communities to fight the fire near Paddy's Pond. What would you say to someone who feels the Kingston fire is being shortchanged in terms of resources?
We had significant ground forces, ground crews on that this morning. I'm not exactly sure the number of helicopters. I believe it was 4 or 5 helicopters on that fire today. What I can say is that we have an incident management team in place that is managing the fires on the Avalon. And what they're doing, they're sharing resources between the various fires. And they have to evaluate risk and effectiveness of those air assets. And they determine then how those air assets are allocated to each fire. So the decisions around, again, I'll reiterate, it's effectiveness, risk, and what resources we have available determines how they're allocated.
And the Bay d'Espoir Highway, Route 360, is now closed because of the Martin Lake fire. And of course, that's a critical highway for people traveling to the South Coast. It cuts off that part of the province. Can you talk about what's changed with the Martin Lake fire to cause the highway to close?
So on the Martin Lake fire, we've been, over the past few days, we've been experiencing high winds, high temperatures, and low relative humidity. So it's the perfect storm coming together. We held that fire for a couple of days. And unfortunately today, just the conditions, the air assets we had in place couldn't hold that fire to its perimeter, and it grew. And it's at a point now we feel that out of an abundance of caution that we should close the Bay d'Espoir Highway. My understanding is there's a significant amount of smoke on the highway. The fire has moved, somewhat closer to the highway. So we felt that it was necessary to impose that closure on the Bay d'Espoir Highway.
So let's talk about the fire near Paddy's Pond. That's definitely an evolving situation. It appears to be growing. What have you seen from that fire today?
Carolyn, that fire has grown. We estimate it's probably over 300 hectares now in size. It's growing around the western side of Paddy's Pond towards the highway. We had significant air assets on that one today. We're working with the St. John's Regional Fire Department, trying to develop some strategies to keep that fire where it is. And hopefully this evening we can keep it where it is now.
How concerned are you about the fire? The weather conditions out there certainly not helping the situation. What are your concerns about where this might be going?
Well, where it's going is I have no idea, but what we're gonna see is our fire weather index is going to remain on extreme, given that there's no rain. We're having high winds and low relative humidity, so we're going to see continued active fires. Over the next little while. I think Friday there is some rain in the forecast. So what we're going to see, as I said, we're going to see fire behavior continue over the next few days.
Well, Mark Lawler, certainly seems like we could use all the help we can get in this situation. Thank you so much for this update. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carolyn. Take care.
Well, returning now to the government wildfire briefing earlier today, Premier John Hogan announced that volunteer firefighters will be compensated for going above and beyond fighting the wildfires this season.
I know that thank you isn't enough and it will never be enough. And over the past number of years, number of days, you've all given a lot. Which is more than the already high burden we ask of you to do and you volunteer to do as volunteer firefighters. It's an understatement to say there's been long, stressful, scary, and difficult days away from your families, hot, dry weather, and the pressure of doing everything that you can do to help your neighbors. Because, of course, in Newfoundland and Labrador, we know that volunteers always do what volunteers do, and they do it for the right reasons. And not for selfish reasons. But the situation we face today is completely different than any situation that we faced in years, and probably not what they thought they were signing up for, but they're certainly not shying away from the challenge. So the government of Newfoundland and Labrador will be taking measures to compensate volunteer firefighters for these extraordinary circumstances. We have to recognize the volunteer firefighters who possess the necessary training to aid in this wildfire relief and in the many other jobs that are required, including traffic control to afterburn cleanup, to be that necessary strength for us. And I recognize this is not a normal situation and we can't treat this as anywhere near normal. So I will have more to say on that in the coming days, very soon, but I want all the volunteer firefighters to know we appreciate the sacrifice and the efforts, and we will always be there for them. And you've had our backs and we'll have yours.
Well, as we heard earlier, the wildfire situation has been having an impact on the Canada Games. Plumes of smoke from the Paddy's Pond fire could be seen rising in the background of the beach volleyball courts yesterday. Now, counseling is being made available to athletes who are feeling the stress of all of this. And as Elizabeth Tues tells us, officials are making mental health a priority.
What started out as a day of heated beach volleyball competition at the Canada Games was soon overshadowed by a giant column of smoke dominating the skyline.
When we came back for our second match of the day and we were waiting to get on court, that's when we noticed the smoke coming out. And I think everyone's attention shifted towards that.
An ominous reminder of the wildfires threatening communities on the Avalon Peninsula, casting a shadow over this giant sporting event.
I pulled my athletes aside and talked to them about it initially and said we will play until we're told we can't play.
But as the fires continue to rage, the ripples are being felt by several of the game's events. Beach volleyball and sailing are now postponed, while several other sports have had to relocate from areas affected by smoke and evacuation alerts and orders. Newfoundland and Labrador Premier John Hogan had this message for the athletes.
While we will continue to fight these forest fires over the next days and potentially weeks, it's okay to enjoy the Canada Games. It's okay to enjoy all the hard work that you've put in here and deliver over the next couple of weeks.
Team New Brunswick delivered its first medal on Tuesday, a bronze in the pool. But New Brunswick athletes are feeling the pressure in and out of competition as fires also continue raging in their home province.
Just thinking about our community back home and the community here in Newfoundland, and making sure that everybody's staying safe and that we hope they know that we're thinking about them while we're out here competing for our province.
That common bond between these two Atlantic provinces, concern about family and friends affected by wildfires, spilled out from these lacrosse teams.
We met the box lacrosse team that came back from their game was postponed against Newfoundland. And so, there were some emotions, there were some tears, there were some hugs, and it's okay, right? It's okay to live those emotions, and we become one big happy family here, good times and bad.
And as another sign of support from New Brunswickers to Newfoundlanders, parents of New Brunswick's women's lacrosse team are fundraising to pay for meals for the firefighters who've been working so hard to try to bring the wildfires under control. Elizabeth Tues, CBC News, St. John's.
Now, while the wildfires have changed some events during the Canada Games so far, many athletes are still competing today. Jeremy Eaton has been taking in some of the softball action today and joins us now live from the Caribou Complex next to Kitty Vitty Lake. So, Jeremy, what's the mood like at the softball pitch?
The mood is pretty hot here. In the last hit, we were near Team Quebec when they were playing Team Manitoba, and they were a lively bunch. Right now, Team Newfoundland here in the white and burgundy behind us is taking on Team New Brunswick. Now, video producer and Danny Arsenal and I were here earlier today, and we chatted with some players from Team Newfoundland and Labrador, and here's a bit of what they had to say.
I think it's the best, honestly. I think it's better than going away, having everyone here supporting us, and I think it's awesome. Seeing all the fans, it's great.
When you normally play, do you usually get this many fans?
No, no, not at all.
And what's like, is there any added pressure playing in front of family and friends like you have been today?
It is. I mean, there's more people coming. You want to impress them, so you don't want to mess up. But honestly, it's great. The pressure, it makes you play better.
When you found out that you were going to be able to represent Newfoundland and Labrador at the Canada Games in St. John's, what did that mean to you?
It's really special to be able to do that, and it's surreal.
How have the games been so far from your point of view?
We've had some close ones, and people don't think they're going to be close, and it's really special when they are. And there's some harder ones, but you just got to get through it.
You're from Placentia, is that?
Yeah.
Or what does it mean to have your family being able to watch you play here at the Canada Games?
It's nice, because they supported you all this time, and then they get to see it.
You're from Holyrood. You get to represent your province not too far from where you live. How important or how special is it to represent Newfoundland and Labrador in Newfoundland and Labrador?
It's so special. It puts us on the map because when you think softball, you don't really think Newfoundland. So now people know what we got and how we do it.
What's been your favorite memory so far?
I think that last game we just played, like Ontario's one of the top teams. We stuck with them until the very end. It was great. Our whole team, we didn't give up once. We stayed loud and we had each other's backs. So it's easy when it's like that.
Paige, what's been your favorite memory so far of these Canada Games?
I think just getting here at the start, it was really special to see everyone from all over Canada come, and then you get to be a part of that, so that's really special.
And what about you? What was your favorite part of the Canada Games?
I'd say opening ceremonies, walking in and seeing we're the last team going in and all the fans. It was a great experience.
So as you can see now, basically full count here. There's 2 outs and boom. All right, so they just earned a walk. So these are the Newfoundland fans sitting behind Team Newfoundland as they play here on the field against New Brunswick, and it's sort of a must-win game for them. I think Team Newfoundland right now is 1 win, 3 losses, and they said that to this game against Team New Brunswick is a big game, a big win if they want to get, so to see if they can keep moving forward. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Jeremy Eaton in St. John's.
Now, with a state of emergency in place for Paradise, CBS, Galway, and Southlands, officials are advising residents to be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. They're suggesting packing a go bag with essentials. The CBC's Daryl Roberts breaks down what you might need to take.
It's been a wildfire season like no other in Newfoundland and Labrador. Thousands of people have been evacuated and thousands more are on alert. If that's you, here's how you can prepare. Officials say you should have supplies that can last at least 72 hours so they can focus on those with the most urgent needs. That's water. 2 liters of water per person per day is recommended. Food. Think non-perishables, canned and dried food. And don't forget a can opener. Your glasses or contacts, your toothbrush, and a deodorant. Your prescriptions and medical equipment. Check now to see if you're low and restock if you can. Take a first aid kit, a flashlight, and extra batteries. Take a sleeping bag and blanket, your phone, don't forget a charger, and a battery-powered radio if you have one. Cash. You might need it if the power goes. And make sure that your vehicle has fuel. Clothes. Remember, you're packing for at least 72 hours. And the weather may be warm now, but it can change quickly, so grab a sweater. And think sturdy footwear. You'll want more than flip-flops. Then there's the paperwork. You'll want a copy of all your personal documents, that's your ID or driver's license and birth certificate, passport, MCP card, and for insurance, you need to know your carrier, their phone number, and your policy and account information. You'll want your banking information too, and your emergency contacts. You should store paper documents in a waterproof bag. If you have kids, diapers, bottles, wipes, more food and water, and something to bring them comfort, like a favorite stuffed toy. If you have a pet, add more water and food, bowls, a leash, and a kennel. Okay, have everything? Now it's time to get the house ready. Take photos of all the rooms in your house in case you need them for insurance. Remove debris from around your house and cut back branches and trees. If you get word that you do need to evacuate, close and lock your windows, turn off your air exchanger and your propane, unplug any electronic appliances, and listen to any other instructions that local officials give you. And after you lock up, don't forget your keys. Daryl Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
before we get to the forecast, I want to show you a video from a man in Grand Falls, Windsor. He's illustrating just how fast a fire can happen.
I just come out, turn on the hose, and it's on fire. Wow.
Yeah, Brian McDonald says this video shows a rag used to wash his friend's truck the day before. Now, the water, as you saw, was dumped out, and then the damp rag was left in the steel bowl in the sun and caught fire. McDonald says it's an indication of just how hot and dry it is out there.
Is on the news. I mean, this province is a tinderbox now. I mean, it's just waiting to go up, as you can see, for all the fires on the news.
Wow. Yeah, that is a really good reminder of, how fires can start in unlikely places. You just don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's steel bowl and the reflection of the sun, I guess, would ignite the rag.
Yeah, and I saw a bunch of things too about glass in graveyards, those sorts of things.
Right. Like glass vases?
Vases, all that sort of stuff.
Flowers
Little
that are
ornaments
pretty dried out.
on your lawn, those sorts of things. Just, good idea. Yeah. Pick those things up for now.
Yeah. Maybe look around your property to see if there's anything like that could cause a fire.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, there's so much going on today, Ashley, and everyone is hoping for rain.
We are all hoping for rain, and it does look like it's in the forecast. Hopefully this happens. There is, not every model is saying that there's going to be some rain, but there is some hope. Let's take a look at what's going to happen. Now, Wednesday evening, we've got a front that's going to move through. That's going to drop those temperatures across Labrador, and then into Thursday. So we will see some cooler air on the backside of that. So some showers possible up across Labrador. And then that's the case across the island as well. Now, again, it doesn't look like it's that much rain, but at this point, every little bit will help. Certainly as the potential for rain, we could see those relative humidities bump up a little bit, which will also help fight the forest fires that are currently burning. But after that front moves through across Labrador, expect those temperatures to drop a little bit. No, a lot. 14 degrees, the daytime high on Thursday for Lab City, Nain, sitting at about 17, and we'll see that big drop in temperatures for Happy Valley Goose Bay as well, 22. Still going to hang on to a little bit of heat along the coast there at about 28 degrees, but overall your temperatures will definitely be much cooler. And then across the island, now temperatures are still going to be mild, but they'll be in the mid to upper 20s through the day, so we'll say goodbye to those 30-degree temperatures. Again, those shower chances in the forecast there as well. Now, as we look ahead to Friday, that front will continue to move south, and some more shower chances will move in right along with it. That will be the story through Friday for most of the island through central into the evening, and then eventually, hopefully, we'll see some showers on the Avalon as well. Overall, temperatures will drop back down to the low to mid 20s for most of the island, 17 degrees for St. Anthony, and then up across Labrador, much cooler temperatures, anywhere from 10 to as much as 18 degrees for your daytime highs. That drop comes on Saturday for St. John's and Eastern Newfoundland, 18 degrees, rebound to 21 by the time we get into Sunday. For central areas of the province, or of the island rather, you'll also see your temperatures drop to the teens by Saturday with some shower chances. Sunday, 23 degrees. And then for western Newfoundland, you're looking at your temperatures in the 20s with some sunshine. Now, overall, 18 to 21 degrees for eastern Labrador and staying in the teens for the west. Our weather photo today, taken in Milton. Great shot here of the sunset. Thank you for that. Bonnie, if you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Bonnie. And of course, we can appreciate how beautiful the shot is, but of course, we know that the coloring there is because of the smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's a difficult situation. Of course, you can check cbc.ca/NL for all the latest information on the wildfire situation, and we'll have much more coverage tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night.